talk about leveraging the voice of the patient. And that's really what a Google review is. The patient will sing praises that you couldn't sing yourself. I'm going to suggest a 5-part system for all of you to follow to get more Google reviews. Step 1. So it's 5 steps. Step 1, have one of your team members show up to your morning huddle with the email addresses of everybody that's on your schedule today, whether it be a hygiene patient or a restorative patient. So, and step 2, once we have that email address, we highlight all of the patient names who have a Gmail address. Because while there are many review sites, the granddaddy of all review sites is Google Reviews. That's where you should work on getting more reviews. Let's put them there first because those are going to have the biggest impact for you. And you probably know, and if you don't, we'll tell you right now, the patient has to have a Gmail address in order to write a Google review. Now, they could go out and get a Gmail address for free and write to review, but nobody's going to do that. That's too much of a ask. Would you agree, Naren?
I agree, Gary. Yes.
So step 2, highlight all of the names on your schedule of the patients that have a Gmail address. Step 3, look at those names and choose the people to ask for a review today who you flat out know beyond a shadow of a doubt that will write you a 5-star review. So let's say hypothetically there's 6 patients on your schedule today that have Gmail address. I'm making up numbers for illustration. So let's say there's 6 and you look at those and 5 of the 6 you flat out know love you and you love them and they will write a 5-star review. You just know. When in doubt, don't ask. if you're not quite sure, don't risk it. Only ask those people you know are going to write a 5-star review. So, and now we go to step 4. Now we have the names of those 5 people. Identify a team member, a particular team member, to ask that patient for a review. Could be their hygienist, could be their assistant, it could be an admin team member that has a particular connection, it could be the doctor because he or she just feels a real connection to that patient. So identify. And if you don't have someone volunteer, I would encourage you to have a default team member in your practice if no one volunteers. And that person would be someone that is more outgoing, more social, more gregarious, comfortable talking to new people. So identify if you don't get someone to volunteer organically, just by asking, hey, who would like to ask Linda? And Kelly, the hygienist, I'll ask Linda, she's my neighbor. I see her walking the dog multiple times a week in addition to seeing her as a patient. I'll ask her. But if you don't have someone, then have someone default in your practice to ask that patient for review. And finally, step 5, print out, this is important, print out a little cheat sheet, a cheat instruction sheet with the steps on how to write a Google review. Now, Naren, if any of our listeners want to know what they should put on that form, they should Google how steps to write a Google review. And by the way, go to YouTube and just type in, steps to write a Google review. Videos will pop up. Pick the first one and watch it. There'll be 4 or 5 short little steps and print out a cheat sheet. And then when we ask Linda, let's say when Kelly asks Linda, Kelly can say, Linda, I sure love seeing you on my schedule. When I see you on my schedule, I know I'm going to have a good day. But here at Life Smiles, we also love seeing new patients. Would you be kind enough to write us a Google review when you get a chance? Linda, I went ahead and took the liberty of preparing this little cheat sheet for you with just simple instructions on how to write a Google review. Let me thank you in advance for that. We sure appreciate it. And there's the ask. Now, is every one of those 5 going to write a Google review? Not necessarily, but you might be surprised how many will. And you might be surprised if you do this consistently in your practice that you will meet my challenge. What was the challenge, Naren? To become the dental office that has the highest number of reviews.